Book review time. So I just finished reading Cashvertising. I don't even know the book I read. Cashvertising, just finished reading it by Eric Whitman. It was a really, really good book. Like literally it talked about like everything about advertising. It went into a lot of detail, and then went into the detail about why we buy the things we buy. And it's not just because we want to buy them, it's because we're made to want to buy them. But psychologically, we think we actually want to buy them, right? Where it's crazy. It goes into a lot of detail, and you can actually, when you look at ads, you can pick up all the little things that tell you about this stuff, which is really cool. Hi, Lucy. So main point of it was like the 8 life forces that it kind of went through, and these are like the main like 8 things that are like biologically programmed that we as humans desire, right? So it's like survival, enjoyment, freedom, sexual companionship, comfortable living conditions, to be superior, winning, like keeping up with the Joneses, care and protection for loved ones, and social approval. And it talks about how you want like your ad, you want it to have at least, ideally you'd want all that stuff in it, but sometimes it's hard depending on the product you sell. So you might just, you try to fit in as many as possible. That didn't go as smooth as I wanted it to. But so like my big like takeaway to me is like be more straight to the point with what I do, right? So like when someone asks me like, hey, what do you do? I'm like, oh, I like flip houses and buy like rentals, and I have rentals and like some Airbnbs, and I also buy apartments, and we fix those up, and and then I also help people invest, passively. And no one gives a shit, because according to this book, and I think in reality, because it doesn't, that like by the time I say the first sentence, they're like, oh yeah, whatever, who cares, right? So a better way to say that would be, I help people invest passively in real estate. And then if they care, then they're like, oh, well, that's kind of cool, because people are selfish, right? People care about themselves, no matter who you are, even if you say you're not. People always care about themselves. So when I say it the second way, right, I help people get a good return on investment, or I help people invest passively, whatever, by investing in real estate. And they're like, oh, that's cool. So what kind of stuff do you do in real estate? And I'm like, oh, well, I fix and flip houses. That's one option. We can buy single family duplexes or fourplexes, or we can buy apartments, right? So that way they ask you and they actually care, where the first part of you saying it, they're already not listening to it by the time you get to the investing passively part. So it was actually an awesome book. I would highly recommend you read it. It talked about like the font. It went to like a crazy amount of detail about like the font, the colors used, the size of the letters, even the type of font, and like how you tilt it or angle it, or it just went to a crazy amount of detail about all that stuff. It was really good. Let me see if I missed anything. But I would totally, oh, and it went into like pricing and like positioning, like where to put your ad and how and where, and right. Like I don't really use ads for what I do, but I think for anyone selling a product or a service or something to like the public, really, it would be an awesome book, because there's things that I've like never thought of that it mentioned here. And you look through a magazine, like the one thing that comes to mind is when you go through a magazine, the ad on the front page has like a 40% higher rate of return or response rate than something that's in the middle of the magazine, let's say, right? Or something that's like an ad that has like a coupon on it is way more interesting than one that doesn't, right? Or for example, the other cool one was a lot of people do like buy one, get one half off, or buy one, something along those lines. But instead of doing that, you can do buy one, get one free. I think I'm saying it wrong, but you get the point. It's the same thing, and people would rather have something free than you buy like 2 for 1, right? It's just about how you use wording. It went into like word. It's a great book. So if you're doing anything about advertising, I think one of my buddies recommended it to me, and from the advertising space. But it's a great book. That's what it looks like. right there. That's the back of it. But great book. I would give it 2 thumbs up. So if you're looking for something to read in the advertising space, check her out. And I hope you have a great night.